Welcome to highlights of Stage 1, Day 2 of the 41st edition of the Lidl Deutschland Tour, and this one a really long stage, starting out where yesterday's prologue was won by Isaac Del Toro, the Mexican road race and time trial champion, riding out of Bad Orb, the spa town, headed for another spa town, Schwäbisch Hall, but a long way away. This is the longest stage, 215 kilometers, 3,298 meters of elevation. A really tough second phase as well, but really constantly up and down today. Nobody was ever expecting it to be a sprint finish. We have a fascinating mix of fast men and world-class general classification climbers on this year's race. This was the breakaway that eventually settled. One of the German continental teams, Rembrandt, managed to get two riders in there. Miguel Heidemann, the very experienced German, and his young teammate Ole Thaler, in company of the Frenchman Elan Laronde of Caja Rural, the Spanish team. These three built up a lead at one point of nearly 6 minutes. UAE Team Emirates had put their two youngsters on the front, the youngest man in the race, Matteo van den Wijngaard, and Maurice Maus, the teenagers, two teenagers on the front for UAE Team Emirates chasing. The rain came and went as well. We did get rain early in the stage, and I can tell you, it wasn't the last we saw of it either. They did a really good job, these three. Really, it was going to be all about the King of the Mountains points. Two of our first two King of the Mountains points in this year's race. And despite the chasing of the two youngsters from UAE Team Emirates, our breakaway of three was hanging on to a healthy 3.5 minutes as they rolled through thick, lush, forested countryside, riding due south into Baden-Württemberg eventually. The gap was coming down as they came on to the first of the King of the Mountains climbs, and then by the time they got to the Hemelsberg, it was Miguel Heidemann and Ole Thaler knowing they had a great opportunity to get the points, and the rain was coming in. Total Energies' Alexis Brunel was giving it a go on the climb as well. This was a tough one, the Hemelsberg, and it really was what ignited the general classification battle. Well, the two Rembrandt riders actually sprinted it out between them. I was not expecting this. Ole Thaler, who'd taken the Reichelsheim, then out-sprinted by his own teammate, Miguel Heidemann, who would be the King of the Mountains wearer come the finish too. That team, Rembrandt, were not done with the attacking either, and that teased out race leader Isaac Del Toro. Louis Barret having a go. And this was a phase of the race, by the way, where we saw constant attacks. A very strong-looking Mark Hirschi also attacking and being brought back in. The main peloton was getting smaller and smaller, and every time it was because the front end was being stretched like a piece of elastic constantly with every single attack. It was a fascinating phase of the race, and one which spelled the end for our breakaway too. Strong ride by Laronde, Heidemann and Thaler, but they were back in the fold. And that just meant new riders coming to the fore and also attacking. Front of the race split into three groups, all the while the blue leader's jersey of Isaac Del Toro making all the right moves as well. Well, after we'd seen the attack of Alexis Brunel earlier, it was his young teammate, the young Frenchman Theo Hebert, the 22-year-old for Total Energies, who went off by himself. He was allowed a bit of room to get going out front, but I have to say it was a really strong ride. He took the first points at Waldenberg, and then it was Benjamin Thomas jumping clear of the group, the Frenchman who'd ridden a brilliant prologue to take the 3 points. Nikias Arndt got the 1 point there. That was the first of 3 intermediate sprint points, the third and final of which would have bonus seconds attached to it too. And Theo Hebert was doing such a good ride that it teased out Wilco Kelderman, the Dutch road race champion, spotting an opportunity to hook up with Hebert out front. Wilco Kelderman, since winning that Dutch national title, looking like a changed rider this season, really attacking, aggressive and very strong indeed. He got up to Theo Hebert and the two of them worked really well together. They never had a massive lead, they weren't allowed a massive lead, but they were over 30 seconds, something like 40 seconds at one point for the two of them, and it wasn't exactly like Hebert was hanging on to Kelderman either. This was a really strong ride by the two of them as they approached Schwäbisch Hall for the first time. A massive crowd out on a Thursday afternoon, and the town mayor himself getting to ring the Tour de France bell, no less, on the finish line. Big crowd on the rise to the line. The riders seeing it for the first time, and they had one 12-kilometre clockwise lap going over the River Kocher to bring this one home. And trust me, this finale was fascinating as well. Kelderman and the young Frenchman Theo Hebert brought back. But then we had this very steep climb in the middle of the final lap, which had bonus seconds available at the top as well. It was Matthias Vácek the first to go. In fact, it looked like he was riding clear. But then came Louis Barret in the colours of Visma Lease bike in the yellow. Who had Barret got with him? Must be one of the best climbers, surely. Well, it was none other than Paul Magnier in the green jersey, probably the best sprinter in this race, in fact, arguably so. And Paul Magnier is so often the man that people claim can't climb. I think he reminded us today he definitely can. But Louis Barret is fresh from winning a hilly stage in the Tour de Pologne, and he put Paul Magnier right on the ropes. Magnier doing his best to stay with him, but as they came towards the rise to the finish line, it was Louis Barret riding clear and really kicking away from Paul Magnier. He had to do this because Magnier would have been very good at beating him in the sprint if they come to the finish together. Magnier being caught by the next group, but I have to say he did well to hang on. Isaac Del Toro in the race leader's jersey knew he had to defend for himself, but Louis Barret had already done enough. The Frenchman rounding in on his second professional victory in quick order after that Tour de Pologne stage win and in front of a massive crowd at Schwäbisch Hall. It was a wonderful moment for the Frenchman. And with that win, he took over the race lead. What would happen behind? A fantastic sprint between Nat Tesfacion, Giulio Ciccone, and the race leader Isaac Del Toro. Del Toro just getting second place and those 6 bonus seconds. Mark Hirschi in between the two groups.
Yeah, it's nice when you see the start list. It's for sure it's a really good victory. But I knew I had really good legs when I arrived here. I'm really happy to win today and to beat that name's really strong riders. So it's really nice.
C'est un blague, gros. T'es bien. Je voulais qu'on arrive ensemble. Je roule pas, c'est
So Louis Barret with his second professional victory, and with the 10-second bonus on the line, he was looking at the blue Lidl leader's jersey. There it was, the stage result. Isaac Del Toro still right there, 16 seconds behind the Frenchman. Louis Barret took over the race lead and will hold it into stage 2, day 3. And there's the movers. Del Toro down 1, but Ciccone and Zambanini with a fantastic sprint there, the Italian. 3 Italians snapping at the heels of a Mexican and a top-flying Frenchman.